Audrii Cunningham, an 11-year-old little girl, should have been living life with her friends, running outside, playing, having a great time with the safety of her grandparents and her father watching over her. However, that's not what happened because grandma and grandpa and dad thought, you know what would be the best thing to bring onto our property? Not a new swing set, not a new seesaw, not a bunch of fun toys or a sandbox. How about a Nazi? Let's bring a Nazi onto the property. And oh yeah, he's Aryan Brotherhood as well. That just seems like the type of great guy we should have watching our little girl, taking her to school because we're Christian. That's what Christians do. That's at least been the the modus operandi we've seen thus far in this case. Shavaun Scott, psychotherapist and author, joining us to discuss this. Shavaun, I want to start with a recent interview that was given by the grandparents about this case and about everything that happened. Literally, Audrey was not buried even yet when this took place. But they're all about creating legislation, which, great. I think that's a great idea. I'm just really curious about the timing, the emotions of all this, and why we're being so quick to look over there, look over there, look over there. It's not
Mhm.
any, oh, we might have screwed this up. Let's take a listen, and I'll get your reaction to it.
You were aware of his history and you were going to give him a second chance like a lot of people were passing over on him, and you went a step further and you checked that registry. Did you feel that that gave you peace of mind and that you did your due diligence before
I
letting
did.
somebody stay here?
I did.
That was our largest concern, because the I think people have come to depend on the registry you look on it, and unfortunately that is part of our society. And some of it is earned. Some of them are truly needed to be on the registry. Some of them were they got caught up in the moment and they wound up on the registry. So there is gray areas in the registry, but then there's a big dark hole where people who committed a sexual assault wound up plea bargaining down to a misdemeanor, and because it's only a misdemeanor, they didn't have to register. That's the hole that we want to work on closing.
The floor is yours.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Talk about failing to take responsibility for some abysmal judgment on their part. It's another example of really misguided faith.
Mhm.
If we think we're doing the right thing because we're Christians by giving this guy another chance, take a look at him. And even if he had not been, a sex offender, pedophile, murderer, this was not a stellar person that you want around your children. Maybe give him a chance in a halfway house,
Yeah.
for people like him. But just abysmal judgment on their part, and they still don't get it. And they're, yeah, we do need to change the laws there in that state where it's, you're allowed to plea and not end up on the registry. Sure, but the minimizing that, oh, well, there are all these gray areas with people on the registry. Somebody just got caught up in the moment. It's like you have to wonder how they function in life.
Oh,
How often do they get caught up in the moment and therefore they're not responsible? That's weird thinking.
it's a weird. I mean, notice the amount of information he's volunteering that he wasn't even asked about. Nobody said, "Well, what do you think about the sex offender registry and
Right.
the different people that are on there? Different." He's literally justifying rape because
Yes.
somebody was caught up in the moment.
Caught up in the moment.
Like,
Yeah.
who does
Yeah.
that other than a
Yeah.
rapist? And
Exactly.
I'm not calling him a rapist, but who else does that?
Yeah, you wonder about the thinking process going on in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really strange, really concerning, and that poor child just didn't have a chance.
What was your observation on the setup as well? If people are listening to us, they're not seeing this. If you watch it on YouTube, you can see what we're talking about on our YouTube channel. But it was like it was a whole set. Like they had their t-shirts on, they had their uniforms basically with Audrey's picture and wings. And then behind, and it was color coordinated too. Purple was the color, by the
Hmm.
way. And then in the background, there's literally all of these pictures of Audrey up. I mean,
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of interviews of grieving families and such, and they don't usually necessarily have a set that they
No,
built
no.
to make their argument or to express their emotions here. That seemed a little off as well.
Yeah, it looked like staging.
Hmm.
And that has a very bizarre quality because again, we put ourselves in this kind of situation. We would be so distraught. That would be the last thing. Or, oh, we're going to wear our matching t-shirts. You know,
Yeah.
it's indicative of a very strange thinking pattern going on with these folks.
Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks